Hey, welcome back to week 5 of Sparkyz cast. This is game 4 of Sparkyz versus eSTRO, and here we're going to see my new man. Oh no, this is game 3? Ah, Sam just corrected me. It's game 3. I'm getting way ahead of myself. But anyways, I'm just excited to see one of my favorite players, Horang2. I can't decide if I like him or Lita better, but
it's okay to admit
I like them both much.
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's over the internet. Nothing's gonna happen.
It happens. Anyways, Horang2, right there, hanging out. Horang2 versus this guy that I've never heard of, Action, a young Zerg player for the eSTRO team. There he is right there. And I have to say I've never seen a game with Action in it. I've seen plenty of games with Action in it.
Hey-o.
Not Action playing as the player.
Kyle?
Yes.
Do all these players
really
have... Do they all just adopt just single English words?
A lot of the time. Well, it's like that, or their last names, or Lita, which I don't know what that's about.
Lita's just a good name.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, like Sangho, that's his name, I think.
Oh, okay.
He's not a hoe that used to sing. Well, he might be, I don't know. I'm not going to presume. But anyways, we got Horang2. I'm going to get to the game. Horang2 versus Action in some Protoss versus Zerg play going to happen on Heartbreak Ridge. And
it looks like over here in the west we've got Horang2 as a toss, and yep, it looks like Action is over in the east and white as Zerg. So yeah, ZVP, Heartbreak Ridge. This could be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So far, Horang2 has had 2 games in this Proleague season, and the interesting thing about those 2 games is that in both of them he went for 2 base carriers. So one of them being sublimely successful when he, he did a whole lot of damage early on with his, first couple of zealots and a probe. He did a ton of damage and then was just free to go for carriers after that. And then the second time, it was sort of the reverse situation. He was on the back foot because his natural expansion got taken out, and he decided to still go for carriers, which just didn't work out very well for him. But the other interesting thing is that both of those games were played on match point. So maybe he just decided that match point is a good map for 2 base carriers, just because it's easy to sort of block off that choke point outside of the natural expansion, so you can prevent scouting for a long time if you work at it a little bit at the beginning. So it's pretty easy to expand and then protect all of that while denying the scout. Or it could be possibly that he is just turning into the carrier guy, and he's going to be going for 2 base carriers all the time, which
that person is probably hoping for.
Yeah, obviously. I'm pretty sure that's 2 base carriers for the win. We love you, Horang2.
Even versus Zerg, you can do it.
And then a phone number. Yeah, especially against Zerg. Right. As he's pointing out, probably not likely to go 2 base carriers against the Zerg, but yeah, this is very nice. Stop that at least 3 times so far. He is delaying this natural expansion from Action for a very long time.
That is impressive. And it looks like he finally missed one, but he's got a little bit of a lead with his own expansion, and of course has seen much more of what's going on with the spawn pool, being that he's the only one who has a scout in somebody's base. And it looks like Action is ready to press. He's like, hey, I'm freaking tired of that.
Yeah, he's going to be sending those Zerglies in, and yeah, Horang2 is forced to put down 2 cannons, so those 2 cannons should protect against these 6 Zerglings just fine. Although there is also a drone going out with them. Those are probably going to go down to the south and mine out those minerals behind the natural expansion. This is Heartbreak Ridge. I don't remember if I mentioned that. But, there's that small mineral patch along with some Protoss temples that are behind the natural expansion, and if you break one of those down, then you're able to get a second route to flank the natural expansion, although it looks like he is not going that direction. Maybe he's going to pick up his 3rd base down in the southeast position, and that's what he's going to go for. So it's going to be a 3 base build starting off, and
I like the way he did that too. He sort of led Horang2 to to think that he was going to go north, totally pulled back after he was out of the view of that probe and sent him to the southeast. So maybe Horang2 thinks he's expanding to the north when in fact he's in the south.
Yeah, the northern position is definitely the more natural third base, second expansion on this map. It's a little bit easier to defend, especially because there is that back route, so that if you pull out those mines on or those minerals on your own, then you can reinforce that way or escape that way if that base is under attack. But anyways, Horang2's doing a really great job with his probe, not only delaying that hatchery early on, but also keeping that probe scout alive for a very long time. Almost Bisu-esque scouting going on right here. He's just dodging 6 Zerglings for a very long time. Maybe he sent another one in. I'm having a hard time imagining that it was just the same one. But then again, he did.
I think it was the same one because he still got that mineral in his mouth. So.
Right, and he sent those Zerglings out originally, so
yeah.
they had to come back. So maybe not quite Bisu-esque, because Bisu would still be in there. He'd have that in there for the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Who knows?
So it looks like a Stargate, and Action has his 3rd hatchery open for business at this point. So, for seeing Stargates this early, it could be a carrier. I do see 2 bases.
He does have 2 bases and a Stargate, but after the Forge First Fast expand, you got to imagine it's definitely just going to be some Corsairs, and he's got his Citadel of Dune down already, so he's definitely going to go for some sort of Templar tech. So, the standard thing would certainly be Corsairs and High Templar and maybe Archons, depending on what's coming out. And yeah, that Templar Archives is down. So, Horang2 playing it pretty standard so far. No crazy builds in this matchup. And we'll see where he goes from it. And, I gotta say, against somebody who I've never heard of, that all of last season played 1 game, which he lost, in Action, that is. Horang2 played a good number of games. I'm not sure exactly how many, but had a stellar win rate. And now actually Action is sending in that drone to mine out those minerals.
But he's doing it from the south, which will take a little bit longer normally to get to, but since he's pushed a little expansion down there in the southeast, he might be able to take Horang2 a little bit by surprise and do it a little bit faster than if he was just sitting from his natural expansion. But down goes an Overlord already. So maybe Horang2 will be able to scout all this stuff out. He needs to definitely take a look down there.
Yeah, he'll be scouting this out with that first Overlord, getting the first Corsair, getting the first Overlord kill with it. Probably going to get another kill, maybe not. Those Scourge are already out, so he's going to have to be careful of that one. Actually, High Templar coming out, so he's going...
Or Dark Templar.
Dark Templar, excuse me. Yeah, he's going DTs, so he needs to get even more Overlord kills, if at all possible. If he can grab a couple more Corsairs and kill off a couple more Overlords, that's going to really open him up. But really, Zergs, they expect this. See, he's already got 1 sunken colony, probably a 2nd sunken colony going to be finished by the time he gets there. Oh, and this might be really bad. I think, Horang2 doesn't realize that base is in that southeast position instead of that northeast position, like you were saying. He thinks up in the northeast, and he's going with all of his forces there, and that attack is not going to do anything.
And that's the look of disappointment.
Yeah, he is not happy about that. Just sparing precious seconds with that early DT harassment. But this, the natural expansion is well defended. 3 or 4 Overlords hanging out over a couple of sunken colonies. Your DTs just aren't going to go anywhere with that. And you got a couple of Zealots alongside it, but the building placement is actually very nice by Action, and he just makes a nice choke point in front of those sunken colonies. Pretty much the same thing going on down at that southeast expansion that he set up, that more hidden third.
Now he's getting the idea.
Right, like, now he finally knows.
Horang2's finally sending some guys to the right spot down
there. But there's a lurker coming in around his base. That drone finished mining out those minerals down in the southwest, and we've got a lurker coming up from Action behind the lines, and he might be able to get a few kills. He's probably going to plant right there behind the lines. We're going to see how fast Horang2 reacts to this. He gets 2 hits off, 1 kill. Oh man, a couple of kills on that probe, but then he does a pretty decent job of reacting to it. But still, that one zealot, I mean, excuse me, that one lurker is going to be doing a lot of harassment, and yeah, oh, nice play, there he goes. I was going to say, he doesn't have, you know, his robotics facility just finished, so he's not going to have observers for quite a while, but he used that Archon trick where he, you know, sent a zealot to stand on top of the lurker and then attacked it with his Archon so that the splash damage would actually kill the lurker.
Very nice.
It's a nice play to deal with that single lurker, but if there's any more lurkers coming out, if they come into that position and are able to set up there, you know, there could be a lot of trouble for Horang2 there, so he needs to be teching up to observers as fast as he can. I'm sure his observatory is already being built, oh, I just see this video needs to get stopped, so we are going to take a break right here, and we'll see you in part 2.